If you've followed us here at The Richest, then you know we can get a bit obsessed about all things military. From the biggest armies to military training and weapons, there's a lot of interesting stuff to see. What about those military topics that don't get advertised as much? From special forces to military spending to desertion, there are some rather shocking facts that may just have you looking at the military in a whole different way. Just be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Big budgets. You know that the countries around the world spend billions upon billions of dollars on their armed forces. You also know that the United States leads the way in yearly military spending. The US yearly budget for its military is around $600 billion. That's impressive. It's even more impressive when you learn that China comes in at number 2 with $129 billion. In fact, even if you added up the spending of the next 7 militaries in the world, they still wouldn't surpass that of the United States. Insane training. Every nation prides itself on the level of training its soldiers and special forces have to go through. In fact, you probably have some idea what sort of training is involved thanks to all the documentaries and military movies out there. Then there's the Russian Special Forces. Yes, they do all sorts of stressful training, but it's one exercise that really stands out. In addition to using live ammunition, Russian Special Forces are known to actually shoot each other with handguns. Sure, they wear body armor, but seriously. Gas guzzlers. Today, we are more environmentally aware than ever before. We use less packaging, try and cut down on electricity usage, and recycle. Then there's the military. All over the world, ships, planes, and tanks burn an incredible amount of petroleum. Who comes in at number 1? We think you know. Of course, it's the United States. Various estimates and official figures put the yearly gas consumption upwards of 800 to 900 million gallons. Whereas in World War II, the US military was using 1 gallon of gas per soldier per day, in the 21st century that level has gone as high as 22 gallons. Female Special Ops. Over the last few decades, the role of women in the military has expanded greatly. This includes roles in special forces and operations units. Yet, we bet you can't guess which military has the first all-female special ops unit. Surprisingly, it's Norway. Known as Hunter Troop, this all-female force was created to respond to new challenges on the battlefield. Specifically, the force came about when all-male units reported difficulty in interacting with female civilians in Muslim countries. But are they tough enough? Well, the women who make it into Hunter Troop can do all the things their male counterparts can do, and the fact that only 4% of applicants make it through training suggests that these are some pretty damn tough ladies. Desertion. If you're a soldier who runs away from your post or leaves your unit without permission, then you have just deserted. Desertion happens in every military, but usually not on any great scale. Then there's the Afghan army. Over the last few years, this force has taken on more responsibility for fighting insurgents and groups like the Taliban. It's also experienced a huge surge in desertion. Reports say that 4,000 men are deserting every month. Given the starting salary of a soldier is just $130 a month, it kind of makes sense why so many leave and never come back. Nukes everywhere. Yes, we all know there are many nuclear weapons all over the world, and they could really turn things nasty if they're used. But do you know just how many and how powerful these weapons actually are? Latest figures put the number of warheads at around 15,000. If it makes you feel any better, that's actually a lot less than there used to be. Of course, almost every one of these weapons is at least several times more powerful than the bombs which flattened Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That likely doesn't make you feel any better about the whole situation. Sci-fi reality. Since we were kids, we've watched shows and movies where spaceships and people armed with lasers blasted away at each other. There were even rumors that the military had laser guns, but they were just rumors. You see, the problem is that the equipment needed to shoot a laser is big and clunky. Or at least, it was. Today, the US military is actively testing lasers, and even has one deployed aboard one of its naval vessels, the USS Ponce. This laser can destroy small boats, drones, and slow-moving aircraft. Sure, you don't get to see the red or green laser blasts or hear the pew-pew from our favorite sci-fi movies, but it is crazy to think that this technology is now becoming a very real thing. Underwater warriors. Would it surprise you to know that the largest submarine fleet in the world isn't American, Russian, or even Chinese? No, it actually belongs to North Korea. While definitely not the most powerful or capable force in the world, it is estimated North Korea operates over 70 diesel-electric submarines. Many of these are pretty old and most likely very unsafe. Nonetheless, some have been outfitted to fire ballistic missiles, which could one day give the isolated state a much greater nuclear deterrent. The Tsar Bomb. You likely know that nuclear weapons are destructive. But what is the biggest nuclear weapon ever exploded? Well, that record belongs to Russia's Tsar Bomb. With a blast equivalent of 50 million tons of TNT, when this thing was tested in 1961, people took notice. The bomb created a fireball 5 miles in diameter. The blast wave shattered windows 500 miles away. It was so bright people could see the flash 600 miles away, even through thick clouds. Pricey. Let's face it, we, like the military, are concerned with soaring prices. Take the F-35 stealth fighter, for example. The bean counters in the government say this high-tech fighter will end up averaging out at $85 million per plane. That sounds like a lot of money. But just how much is $85 million? For that much cash, you could buy 44 brand new Lamborghini Centenarios. From interesting to disturbing, we can all probably agree those were definitely some shocking facts. If military stuff interests you, why not check out some of our other related videos and articles here at The Richest. Remember to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.